Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming in today's long play of Reckoning with commentary. Um, Today I'm going to talk about a TV show that I watched a long time ago. And that TV show is called Tales from... No. Yeah. Tales from the Darkside. I almost said Tales from the Crypt. It's not from Tales of the Crypt, it's from Tales of the Darkside. The two shows are similar, but Tales from the Crypt, I believe, was like an HBO, so it was a lot more horror. There were a lot more horror elements to it, and that's why I didn't enjoy that one as much. I can't watch horror, it gives me nightmares, so... Tales from the Darkside is something that I actually remember fondly wanting to watch, and I would wait for it to come on. With that, I can honestly say that there's only like 2 episodes that I really remember, like clearly everything that happened in those episodes. And the rest of them are rather forgettable. Doesn't mean I didn't like them, or that I thought they were horrible episodes. It's just they didn't stick with me. I'm pretty sure that it covered a lot of different subjects that are really cool subjects. But I did not... back then, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to stuff like that. Unless it went into something in detail. And it was just an overview or a surface level look at a particular idea or situation. I didn't really care in that respect. And I'm pretty sure that Tales from the Darkside went over a lot of what today would be considered problematic topics. But they're not problematic. They're stuff that need to be discussed and should be discussed. And they're things that should be, thought about, considered. Not necessarily in the ways that the show would present, but in some way. So what does that look like? Well, one of the shows that I remember vividly was a show about a genetic engineer who created a creature, basically a monster, through genetic engineering. And he taught that monster to kill people that he didn't like. And one day that monster killed him. There is a lot of the topic of discussion in that respect isn't actually about a monster. It's about creating something wrong or evil or with malintent, and then what you created as a result of that ends up destroying you in the process. And we have a lot of that going on today. I know that our fake news media will continue to lie to you and say that it's not happening, and I realize that. But our political class has created a monster that it cannot control. It thinks it has control of it, and it will devour them one day. In the worst way possible. But they don't seem to care. They seem to believe that their laws and their money will somehow protect them. It's insanity. But, when you have laws that say you can't be held accountable for any law that you decide to break, it's not just ripe for corruption, it guarantees that those in power will continue to become more and more despotic, more and more corrupt, more and more degenerate, until their creation destroys them.
If you must know, it is a potion I concocted with the aid of
They can't see it because they don't want to.
It will bring Sir
They
Ferrara
prefer to live in their little echo chamber of lies and tell each other that everything's fine, nothing to see here, move on, we're doing fine. They're not. There's a lot to see there, and it's only getting worse. But regardless, this show would make you ask questions like this, and would get you to think about things like this, because it presented you with a scenario that allowed for it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that many of the episodes within this series did these sorts of things, even though I can't remember them. I seriously doubt that it was limited to the 2 episodes that I remember vividly. The other one that I remember vividly was one about a demon that played people at a game of chess for their soul. And that was more about know thy enemy. Know who you're going up against before you go up against them, because if you don't know anything, you will lose. That's truly what that episode was about. And it hit that home run out of the park with the way it presented it. It was a very interesting episode, to say the least. And that never... I could never get that thought out of my mind, which is why I'm a firm believer in Know Thy Enemy. And Know Thy Enemy doesn't just apply to, like, war. That's not what that's really... It's part of it, but that's not what it's really about. It's about anything. It could be applied to video games, like online video games. Who's my enemy in online video games? People who cheat. Who spend, $20, $40, $60 a month, whatever it is, to buy a program that allows them to excel at that game to the point that 90% of the rest of the players could never achieve. And in truth, they would not have achieved had they not cheated to get there. Know thy enemy. Know what you're up against. Since I know that when I get into an online game that what I am up against is a bunch of cheaters, I don't even try. Because I know I cannot win against that. So why bother? I know that sounds kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Defeatist? But it wasn't defeatist. It actually allowed me to enjoy the game regardless of the cheating. And then when I got tired of the cheating, I just simply stopped playing because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I'm not going to continue to play something that I don't enjoy. That just seems wrong on several levels. But, that's me. Call me crazy.
Run.
That was interesting. I knew he was, what he was, but I didn't realize how that looked. Now I do. Okay, so continuing on. I tried looking for reviews on this, and yeah, none of them are pretty, to say the least. Which doesn't surprise me. Most things that I enjoyed in life are hated by our, mainstream reporters who are paid to review these sorts of things. So that doesn't surprise me. Then you have the lack of information that's on it as well. Besides the few reviews that exist, the lack of information about this show is pretty extreme. It's little things, truly. So where does that lead us to in that respect? Basically, Tales from the Dark Side, the reason that I liked it is because it was well done. It taught I might actually lose and die. Okay. Not quite. That was close. Okay. Anyway. It wasn't horror in that respect. Or at least it wasn't designed in such a way to make you scared. Or to terrify you or to give you nightmares. It was done in such a way to present information in such a way that it wouldn't be censored out of existence. Which is what happens to a lot of these things. They just get censored out of existence. And what do I mean by that? Let me look at the map real quick. I want to see something. Let's hope that that is where I'm supposed to be going. So, because it was done to present information and not terrify people, it was a horror show that I was capable of watching, which is very unusual for me. I don't do well with horror shows at all, but I do like a good psychological thriller or a horror show that's done with tact instead of gore. It's more mental horror than in your face. I can deal with that sort of stuff. But when it's like, jump scares and, demonic, creations or whatever, yeah, that stuff just gives me nightmares. So I try to avoid it. That's why I don't really play horror games. That was odd. Very odd. there is stuff here that I would like to get, but not right now. So, there's that. Okay, so where are we going? I don't know. Let's pick a quest. So I guess I keep going forward. And we'll get to there eventually. So yeah, like I said, I used to look forward to watching this show every day. And understand this is back when, you know, I actually watched TV. By the 90s, I wasn't watching quote-unquote TV anymore. If I wanted to watch a TV show, I would rent it and watch the whole thing after it had completed. Or I had cable, so I could watch it on different cable channels. I mean, there was other ways for me to watch TV shows other than watching free TV. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So that's kind of what I tried to do. Wow, brings me right back here. Always coming back here. It's one of the things I kind of like about this game. Now, there is fast travel in this game. Or you can just walk through doors like that person. I don't think you're supposed to do that. But the NPCs can. Now, there were a lot of shows like this that were coming out at the time. Another one was Monsters. It was very short-lived. There's only a few episodes. I think it didn't even go for a full season. Maybe it did. You know, maybe they call that a full season. I don't know. But it was another one of those shows that asked questions, very serious questions, in a way that it was detached from reality. And I'm pretty sure that's why these shows were black-holed in that respect. And deliberately forgotten.
Well done. No one will miss those two. Take this to Shieldring Keep and speak to Tyne Delfric. He'll set you to work.
Does that mean that these shows should have been put in the, you know, in a black hole someplace so that nobody could remember them? No, absolutely not.
Next time I see you,
but that's what happened to them, and I believe it was deliberate. I don't think it was something done, quote unquote, by accident or just because of the will of the people. As we can see today blatantly, the people have no will. The will of the people is subverted by the will of those in power. And I'm pretty sure it's been that way for a long time. While though every once in a while there were breakthrough cases, the retaliation from the establishment when that would occur was just as extreme back then as it is today. They hate you, and they want you to suffer. That's how I view the establishment. That's how I view our politicians. They hate me, and they want me to suffer. And they will throw that in my face repeatedly for the rest of my life. Do I like it? Of course not. Is there anything I can do about it? Well, I can hope. But I'm not going to guarantee any of that. Because I have no way to guarantee any of that. Or even to make sure that it doesn't happen. My viewpoints, my way of thinking, my belief that people should be free to think how and when they want is not a popular opinion. The political establishment, and obviously all these companies who support them, want you to think how they want, period. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter to them, as long as you adhere to whatever message they put out. To them, that's a good thing. When you start to question that message, or you start to speak out against it, oh, that's when you start to see the established corruption that is our supposed betters, these company elites and political elites. That's when you start to see these people come out of the woodwork and go after the average person. And what I mean by that is they literally do. They go after, the trash guy. The guy who collects your trash, twice a week. He's an enemy of the state as far as these people are concerned, because he dared to think something that they don't approve of. That's how they view this insanity. That's how they view you. You are merely a means to an end for these people. They do not like you. They do not like your opinions. And they will repeatedly prove that. I don't know why they're like this. Surely they should not be like this, but they are. And they always will be. It's not like anybody's going around doing anything to change it. How did I miss that? Okay. I know this takes forever. Just give me a second, I'm getting there. I think that covers both legs. Let's click it and see what happens. Yeah, that's not going to help me. I was afraid that that's exactly what that did. So I was pretty sure, but I wasn't positive, so. That's not bad. They're all the same. Even though one is obviously not, they're all the same. So what about this one? No? I don't really use them for that anyway, so let's do this. Alright. Let's see if I can put this one on. Yeah, I can. I'm gonna save these because I don't know what they're good for, not good for. I'm still at my limit. Okay, so I need to go back. All the way back. And get rid of stuff. Which is fine. I mean, that doesn't bother me, truly. So, what's my review of Tales from the Darkside? I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it for a long time. I've never had a problem with the show in that respect. I always thought that it was pretty cool, pretty enjoyable. I need to look at the map. Is it the best game out there? No. Is it a decent game? Yes. Or show. Is it the best show out there? No. Is it a decent show? Yes. Yes, it is. It's kind of worth watching. I mean, most of the shows probably are not going to be well put together because it was pretty low budget. But with a little bit of thought and a little bit of thinking, I think they'll present you with enough questions and ideas that you'll never be bored watching it. Wow. This is the second time this has happened. I don't know where it's going to start me. I don't have any idea. So, I'm going to call that my rant for the day. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of yours. Please hit the like button or the rumble button. And subscribe. You know, hit the buttons down below. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.